Hello everyone, we are coming to you live from Silicon Slopes here in Salt Lake City. I'm your host, Jack Cassel, and joining me today is the CEO of Earnest, David Green. David, thanks so much for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Really excited.
Absolutely. So maybe to start things off, what should everyone know about financing higher education?
Yeah, I think the first thing they should know is it's really complicated, and they need to get started early, and there's a lot of different options out there, and so they should approach it with the goal of not taking out loans, and so how can they maximize their amount of financial aid, how can they maximize the number of scholarships they take out, and then for anything else that they need to do, they can look to take out loans at that point.
Okay, and so you've seen a lot of trends over the last, I believe, about 9 years in the evolution of these markets. What are the next 10 years, that next decade look like for Earnest? Yeah,
so I think today, we are working to make higher education affordable and accessible for everyone, and we do that in a few different ways. We help people refinance their loans after they graduate to pay off in a shorter time frame. We help those people going into school make better decisions with the loans they do need to take out. And then we do also have a scholarship platform called Going Merry that we use to help people maximize their financial aid and scholarships. And while that's a great start, it is just a start. There's a lot of work to be done. This is a really huge problem. And so we're going to be focused over the next 10 years on continuing to help students and parents make better financial decisions, both before school, during school, and after they graduate.
Okay. A lot of companies and leaders learned a lot through COVID about the culture, about their company, about their markets. What were some changes you saw through the pandemic that are here to stay for Earnest?
Yeah, so I think like a lot of companies, we decided to go remote during COVID, and we're continuing to stay remote. And I talked about this a little bit yesterday at the talk, and that was a good decision for us. I don't believe we're going to go back on that decision, but there's no question that there is a loss of community by being remote. And so it's a big task for me as a leader, for us as leaders, to figure out how we're going to build that community, sustain that community online. The work transitioned pretty seamlessly, the community not as much. And so, we're working hard to figure out how we can build in-person connection, even though we're mostly remote.
Okay. And as a leader, what are some of the challenges that you've seen the team overcome or want to continue to challenge your team to overcome?
Yeah, I think a lot of it is just related to that. It's how do you build it? You've grown up and you've come up in your career interfacing with people every day, face to face. You know how to manage people face to face. You know how to interact with them, give them directions, and how do you take all of that online and do it all over Zoom? And how do you continue to build not only the work connection, but that personal connection that helps your employees feel fulfilled and ultimately keeps them at your company?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you've done a great job creating that culture. As much as you said, it's difficult through the remote challenges, but well done.
Yeah, thank you.
One last thing is, Fintech has been a pretty hot sector throughout the last few years. But it's really anchored around trust and trusting who that partner is and the company you're working with. What has helped Earnest stay atop of that field, in your opinion?
Yeah, and I think there's a couple things. Certainly on the trust side, it's ultimately just continuing to do what's best for your customers. And as a lending company, your goal is to make money, and part of that is having people take out loans. We have decided to invest in helping people take out not as many loans by helping them maximize their scholarships, by helping them maximize their financial aid. And so, we're continuing to do all the things that are aligned with the best interest of our customers, and that really helps build trust over time.
Got it. Well, thank you so much for joining us today, and we look forward to watching you continue to grow the business with your great team.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely.